How are you, Tom?
Agreed on all of it. We got a very excited John Gruden last night, too, didn't we?
Well, I mean, look, it's interesting to see Woodson and Brady back on the same football field and the same weekend Vinatieri kicked in the snow, Tom. I saw your tweet last night. That's how I responded.
That's another precise point by you. But, yeah, I think that when you look at what happened last night, that is the perfect recipe for conclusion jumping. And I think that what Miami did to the Patriots 2 weeks prior at Gillette, where they got after him, they knocked him around, they put him on the ground, even though they lost by 18 points. I really think Brady entered the game saying, look, I'm not going to have a lot of time to set my feet. And you saw uncharacteristic inaccuracy, and without Gronkowski, and the Dolphins saying, you know what, we're just going to get up in people's faces, and we're going to bring extra people, and we're going to take our chances. They were able to profit from that, Rich.
Okay, so what do you take out of this that does actually X's and O's, moving on down the line, cause you concern with what you saw from last night?
It's just that I think it's what we expected, but we got lulled into a sense of, hey, they're indomitable again. They're very, very, very close in terms of personnel to being rendered not ordinary, but beatable. You know, you take Rob Gronkowski out offensively, and yes, they've played earlier this season without him, but you have a team who came in at home and had a good scheme and got pressure on Brady and does knock him around, and you take somebody out, it's going to be an issue. And then defensively, we're not talking about all pros and Kyle Van Noy and Trey Flowers, but you take them out, couple that with Dante Hightower not being there, and you have two rookies in Dietrich Wise and Adam Butler playing your meaningful snaps up front, and guys like Eric Lee, who were just on the Bills practice squad. There is a tipping point for New England. So I think it shows more than anything, less than the X's and O's. This is a great Ron Borges line. It's the Jimmies and Joes.
Mm-hmm. Tom Curran from NBC Sports Boston joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. And I mean, look, if Gase drew up what he drew up last night with Cutler and Landry and Drake, the idea that Big Ben, Brown, and Bell aren't going to be a major problem for New England next week, it's staring you right in the face, Tom. What changes between last night and a short week for a huge game Sunday afternoon on CBS? What do you think?
It's the bunch formations. Gerard Mayo and I do a show together, and he talks about it a lot. The Patriots have problems with the bunch formations when guys get all jammed up together, and then they take off in different directions, and that is something that Antonio Brown flourishes in, those crossing really at the first level as opposed to the downfield stuff. The Patriots will take away the downfield stuff. But what they have to be as concerned about as anything with Antonio Brown is that crossing stuff and getting him on the ground. With Logan Ryan last year in the Patriots defensive secondary, one of the best tacklers in the league at the cornerback position, you know, they really limited the entire Steelers offense. And Le'Veon Bell was less than 100% in that game and actually left early. Mm-hmm. But Martavis Bryant, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and we'll see what kind of condition Bell is in this week. It's going to be a serious challenge. But I would chalk a lot of it up to the players that were not on the field for New England, and just an outstanding game plan, Rich, by Gase. I think Gase is an excellent coach, and people overlook the fact that Cutler might be the leading guy in terms of not someone you'd want to follow into great battle, but he is a very, very good thrower.
So will Van Noy be back, do you think? Just first blush Tuesday? Will they be full complement as best they can be in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I would think so. He got the week off, and he missed a fair amount of the previous game. It was a calf that he re-aggravated. He wasn't really close this week. Straight line out of the game, didn't make the trip. So there'll be some question as to what happens with him, but I think that's important. But, you know, and that's, again, the thing. It's a Landon Robertson, Marquise Flowers are at the linebacker level for New England. And that's not the way they came into the season planning. Nor is that going to be what Pittsburgh is coming into the season planning either. Every team is dealing with plenty of different things. But it's prior to this morning, Rich, I think people said, well, you know, Steelers are a fraudulent 10-2 or 11-2, and the Patriots are going to cuff them around. I think the conversation has changed drastically.
So last one for you, Tom, is Brady. Obviously, everybody's banged up. He's a 40-year-old guy, too. What are the concerns there for the final 3 weeks of the season, then obviously saddling up for what they hope is another deep run into the playoffs?
He's taken practices off in the middle of the week each of the last 2 weeks. He took 2 off last week because they had a longer week. I would expect to see the same thing. I would expect to see the exact same thing from Steelers defensive coordinator Keith Butler, who talked about we're going to play man, we're going to press, and we're going to try and get home with 4, which is something that they haven't done in the past. So Brady should expect another ration of abuse. And
what are you hearing about McDaniel, Josh, and maybe Patricia with the Giants knocking on the door, et cetera, et cetera? Tom, what are you hearing about this?
You know what? I think that it's more likely this year than prior years that Josh might take an opportunity to go elsewhere. It's just a feeling that I've gotten over the last couple of months. I mean, he's taken a pass on a lot of different places, including San Francisco, including that now being a place where Jimmy Garoppolo is. And there's got to be a level of him saying, whoa, that would have been a good spot for me. So I wouldn't be surprised if this would be a year where the coordinators go elsewhere, and I think that's a huge key to this annual success that they've had too, Rich.
All right, before I let you go, what are your compatriots around town thinking about the Stanton trade?
Holy crap, not that happy. Not that happy. A lot of hue and cry about were they in on this guy or not? And Dave Dombrowski's trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube on that.
What is he saying? What is he saying? Were they in on it?
We were in on it. We wanted a big bet. We tried. But what they often do, as you know, is they make these knee-jerk, ridiculous decisions in the wake of these things to try and recoup, the fan goodwill. Mm-hmm. And there's a new official beer at Fenway this year. They announced that today. So,
yeah, I heard it. Is it Sam Adams? I heard about that. Right?
I just saw beer, and I said, this is classic Red Sox.
Okay, very good. Tom, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. You be well. We'll chat down the line.
Take care, Rich.
You got it. That's Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.